Yeah, so I mean, Florentino Perez, Real Madrid will suffer the most depth because I know they've been playing some of their games at the second league of their second team, like Real Madrid B stadium. So like that's the first thing they can even pay their payrolls for their main stadium. So like that's a struggle, and I mean that's what happens. And with this Premier League, yeah, I mean when I heard your stat, Julian, that kind of shocked me that more American owners are owning than the British. Which, yeah, I mean you could think of example like Man City is owned by an oil company from the Middle East, and then yeah, and then other clubs are owned by like Americans now. And yeah, it's kind of disgraceful. And I think they should implement a 50+1 rule because most of these clubs are built by fans. They're founded by fans. And I mean, Liverpool literally means never walk alone. That's literally their motto. And and yeah, and that's the shocking thing. And I think the most shocking thing is that the players didn't know about this and the manager didn't know about this. With that kind of saying like, oh, we're just gonna like do whatever we want, and the player has no say. Yeah. To me, I think like sports wise, it's like NFLs are built by owners and coaches, and they could choose whoever they want. NBA is now more built on players. They have more voice now. You could definitely tell. It's not like about the owners as much. It's about the players. Because football or soccer is mostly built by fans. It shouldn't be built by owners. It's not fans and players. And I think the reason why it kind of fell down because most of these American sports, yes, I think like owners involved, owners building up is a problem, but that's how us American just likes, big money, biggest competition, yada yada yada. But they have a certain limit. They can't buy all the best players into one team, or it's like that's illegal, right? Or you have this like penalty. If you go over the cap, then you pay this much money to, you went over. So you got to pay that back so that you're under cap. Football is a growing sport, and it's not just, hey, it's the Europeans, but it's also like other countries involved. So like the money will go up. And you put them in a certain cap, then it'll kind of make them feel like we feel like we can't do anything, you know. So to make it like these clubs to get more money than other clubs that I think of like West Ham. West Ham are having the best season and they're about to qualify for the Champions League, and this Super League just coming on. And what's the point? Like, why would they qualify the Champions League if no one's going to watch them if this Super League happens? Or Leicester, or other teams. So yeah, um, it for that week I was really sad because, but it's like really disappointed. So like I kind of the loss of soccer kind of went down, and it kind of reminded me of that commercial of the Nike Soccer World Cup 2014,
Mm.
where I think everyone knows like there's this guy who created like the perfect player. Like what if like players can't make mistake? And I remember I was like, wow, that definitely clicked when this Super League, like there's no competition. Like you kind of see like as these perfect players were created, like the competition just wasn't fun. And you see that as the crowds get it's like big and it gets smaller and smaller. And I was like, it's
Exactly.
exactly like that with the Super League. And it's built by fans. And also there's the World Cup, there's the Euros, but for other leagues, there's just finals and that's it. Unless you apply for the Olympics, but that's like mostly like NBA or like basketball, and that's it almost, or like other sports. But based on that, like it's very useless for me. I don't know what the word is, but yeah. So soccer is like there's this tournament, there's that tournament, there's this tournament. So like it's growing by that. Like the World Cup is one of the biggest games in the world, and if these players can't, the best player can't even play in the World Cup, and in which I'm pretty sure like most English clubs want to play in the World Cup, and they're being blocked because like their own club went to their own league. How would they feel? Like I'm pretty sure they were like, "Hey, I want to leave now." You know, like I want to go to a different club that is not in the Super League. Because
Yeah.
international is, yeah, most people wants to play for their country. That's their dream. It's like it's not just about the Premier League. It's not
I
about
think
just the Champions League. It's about the World Cup too.
I think Perez joked, yeah, or he wasn't joking. He was like, "Oh yeah, we'll make our own World Cup, out of like the Super League players."
Yeah.
No, that's so stupid. Like
Well, think
I
about.
don't.
It's funny you bring the World Cup into this. I remember there were talks back 2018 when a bunch of clubs didn't qualify. Like you think, like the United States, obviously, but Netherlands, Italy, we didn't qualify for the 2018 World Cup. There was talks of like, oh yeah, we'll just make our own international tournament. Everyone's like, whoa, 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 you can't do that, right? And sort of it takes so like why you didn't qualify, you know, shut up and take your medicine, kind of thing. And I think that's sort of the same thing as can be said here of like, oh yeah, if it's like a big club like Arsenal, like Tottenham, who fails to make the Champions League, like both of those clubs probably will, it should be a shut up and take your medicine situation. Like deal with it, get better, hire a better manager. Like Tottenham has already tried 3 or 4 times, and hopefully, hopefully the current one works out for them. Bless his heart. He's a good guy, young guy. Hopefully, he can make it work. 29 years old. Um, or just get your culture back on track like Arsenal because God knows they've got a lot of problems, but they deserve it. It's you shouldn't have it fair right at the top, right? Look at the start of this season. Look at Manchester City letting in 5, United letting in 6, Liverpool letting in 7, Chelsea making 3-3 their default score. Like that's exciting. That's what Everton and Aston Villa as the 2 best teams in the league. That's what I love watching in the Premier League. That's what I love seeing is sort of that. Sure, maybe it only lasts a couple weeks or a couple months if you're really lucky, and then everything kind of straightens out by March, or in April. But it's great while it lasts. It's great fun. I enjoy talking about it on this podcast with you guys. I think a Super League podcast would be pretty boring. All right, because then every week it'd just be like, oh yeah, Atletico's
What's
playing.
disappointing? Yeah, what's
Yeah,
this? And then
Ronaldo scored another hat trick against Sevilla. Like, cool. All right, next game. It's this way. It is what it is. Yeah. So I'm glad it's not happening.
If you like this video, please consider subscribing to our channel, the M2M Network, for more sports and entertainment content.